What's up? I'm Chef English, obviously from Chef English Cooks, and I believe that your food is supposed to talk to you. So when you're cooking or when you get a meal, if you're having a good day, that meal is supposed to say you deserve it. And if you're having a bad day, that meal is supposed to say, you know what, it's okay, it'll be better the next day. But in this month, February, is Valentine's Day, is Lover's Day, and you want to make food that says I love you, especially in this pandemic. Guys, do not get caught saying, I don't have to celebrate because the restaurants are closed. That's not going to work. You're going to be sleeping on the couch. You don't want to do that. So today, I'm going to show y'all how to hook something up real quick to tell your lady, I love you through food and let it talk to her that way. So we're going to do a little surf and turf, but with a little spin on it. So we're going to do a crab meat stuffed steak with a peppercorn cream sauce. So we're going to hook it up. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to show y'all how to hook it up real quick for your lady or your man to tell them I love you through food. So what we have here is some lump crab meat. I didn't use jumbo lump because we're stuffing it in something. Those are beautiful pieces, but this is still pretty big pieces of crab. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit this with some cream cheese. Not too much. We just wanted to be able to stay together. So we're just going to hit it with a little bit of cream cheese, right? And we're going to start to mix that together, right? I don't want to mash it too much. Make sure your cream cheese is room temperature, so that way it doesn't, it's not too hard to mix. You mix it together. We're going to mix that together. And then we're going to add some flavoring to it, right? We just want to get some of that cream cheese incorporated before we mix it all together. So then I'm going to hit it with some scallions, right? Give it some of that onion flavor. We're going to hit it with some chives for a little bit of extra onion flavor. And what I have here is I have a Old Bay, which is a classic seafood seasoning, and Cajun seasoning mix. I'm going to hit it with some of that. Right? A little shallot. Take that big piece out. A little shallot. And a little fresh garlic. And we're going to mix that up. That's going to be our filling. We're just going to mix that up. Make sure everything is incorporated. I might add a little more seasoning. We're going to see how it looks. Once it's all mixed, that cream cheese is all together. And this is what we're going to use to stuff the crab. This is the final product of the mixture. This is what we're going to stuff in our steak. So we got that, and we're going to set that aside, and we're going to get these steaks ready to go. What I got here are some New York strip steaks, right? I have 2 prepared already, but I'm going to show you how to slice a pocket to be stuffed. So you see, you're going to put it on the side just like that, or you can hold it this way, but just for the purpose of the camera, I'm going to put it like this. And we're just going to slice a little pocket into the steak. And we're going to create, we want to go about 2/3 of the way to like about right there. So we're going to slice that, create a nice big pocket so we can stuff a whole bunch of crab in there, right? So as you see, open it up like that, you got yourself a nice little pocket. It's like a pita pocket, but with steak, right? So what we want to do with this steak now, before we stuff it with the crab, is we want to season it up. So first, we're going to hit it with a little olive oil, right? Get some fat content, because the New York strip is a fairly lean piece of meat. So we're going to hit it with some fat content, some oil. We're going to hit it with a whole bunch of salt and pepper. The worst thing you could do with a steak is under-season and not put enough salt. When it hits the pan, some of that salt is going to burn off, right? So you don't want that. You don't want to lose all that flavor. So you just hit it with a lot of salt, a lot of pepper on all sides. Hit the bottom, hit the sides on the cutting board, because that's where your extra seasoning is at. And then you hit it with more black pepper on both sides. And black pepper in the middle. That's what people generally don't season. Season in the middle, because that's where your stuffing's going, right? So you season it, make sure it's some fat all over. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that same crab mixture you had, and you're going to stuff it right in that pocket. Nice, a whole bunch of it. Nice, right in that pocket. Gonna fill it up. Because nobody don't want no little bit of crab when they get something crab stuff. You want it to be filled all the way up. And boom, they ready to hit the pan. I'm going to finish the other 2. and then we'll be ready to cook up. We're getting ready to start this cooking. The wonderful thing about this dish is that after the prep, it's really, really, really super duper quick, which is dope because how quick can you get the girl out or the man out on Valentine's Day? You know, you got to send them to the store. You got to tell them to help the kids. In the meantime, you cook something real quick before they get to notice. So it's super dope. It's maybe like 15 minutes max once you get going. So we're going to add some olive oil to this pan and a knob of butter, right? Get this started. You hear that sizzle? You want to put it on high heat, right? Because we want to get a nice sear on these steaks. So you're going to put it on high heat. You're going to wait till the butter melts. Want a little bit of both of those flavors, that olive oil flavor and that richness, super richness from the butter. So we're going to get that going. Let that butter melt. Got it on nice high heat. And then we're going to put the steak right in there. So we're going to take the seasoned steak and we're going to put it right in there. You hear that bubble, that sizzle. That sizzle means that you're going to get some nice caramelization. So what I like to do is just push down a little bit so all the surface area of the steak can get touched. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to worry about the inside, the crab stuffing, because the crab is already cooked. When they give you crab in a can, the lump crab, or even frozen crab, it's already cooked. If it's not live, it's already cooked in the steak. So you're just going to let that go for a few minutes, caramelize on one side, get a nice hard sear. We're going to flip it over, and then we'll be ready to go. So now we're gonna check it, make sure it's getting that nice caramelization on one side. Oh yeah, that looks good. That's ready to flip in just a second. I want a nice, oh, that one's perfect. So we're gonna flip these right now. A nice sizzle. We're gonna flip them over, let the other side get it. Don't worry about if a little filling slip out, that's why we overstuff. So that way, we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to just let that go until it's cooked through. Maybe another 4 minutes, because it's only thin on each side now that the pocket's in. So maybe 3-4 minutes aside, depending how you like your steak cooked. Medium rare, whatever you like. I like medium personally. So about 4 minutes should be good on each side. And then we're going to set these aside. And the beautiful thing is that we make the sauce in the same pan, the same exact pan. So while this is browning on the second spot, I'm going to throw some thyme in this. Excuse me, it started popping me, scared me a little bit. I'm human, right? We're going to add some butter in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to baste these steaks. That's how you get some more flavor around them. So I'm going to turn them around because this side is more comfortable for me. I'm going to lean them forward. And I'm going to let this butter and this thyme and this garlic melt in here. I'm going to lean it forward a little bit. And just baste these steaks. Get some of that butter right on these steaks, right on that crab meat, right? Just give it a little bit of extra flavor. Let that garlic cook. It's smashed garlic. You know what I mean? Let those aromatics out. Let it cook. Oh, I can smell it already. That garlic is hitting me in my face. That thyme, that fresh thyme. And these are almost done. In about 1 more minute, we're going to be able to take these out. And they'll be ready to go. I just turned them on the side of the crab, let the crab get a little browner, but they're done. We're going to take them out, and we're going to use the same pan to create the sauce. That's the beauty in it. So we're going to turn it down just a little bit, right? Turn it down just a little bit. We're going to use all this flavor that's already in here. I'm going to take this thyme out. But we're going to use all this garlic flavor that's already in there, all this fond in here. And we're going to add, turn it down just a little bit. We're going to add the shallots to this. A bunch of shallots. And we're going to add some garlic. We're going to let those soften just a little bit. Release the aromatics. There's already butter in the bottom, so I didn't add too much. I didn't add any oil or any fat to it because already butter and olive oil. The steak released some fat as well. right? We're gonna let that cook up for a minute. And then what we're gonna do, because what's more decadent on Valentine's Day than cream and alcohol? So you got steak, seafood, cream, alcohol. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna add a little brandy to this. Let that brandy cook up. Cook the alcohol out, you'll smell it. We're gonna release all that alcohol, so that's good flavor. Once the bite from the alcohol goes away, then it's gonna be great, great flavor. Now let that cook down for just a second. Let the alcohol cook out. And then we're gonna go in with our cream. And we're gonna just let that cream cook and reduce until it get nice and thick. So the sauce is thickening up nicely. You see it's starting to part. They call that nappe, not nappy like horsehair, but nappe. Once it coats the back of a spoon and you run your finger across it and it doesn't come together. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So what we want to do, add a few things to this. I want to add some fresh tarragon. It's a distinct flavor that goes well with seafood and definitely cream. I want to reinforce it with some of that Cajun and Old Bay. Not too much, but just a little bit of that Cajun and Old Bay, just so you get a feel of what's in there inside the steak. And we're going to cook that up. Let that go through until it gets nice and thick. And then we're going to finish it with some butter just to add a little bit more richness because it's Valentine's Day. We're not caring about calories. It's decadent. It's luxurious. It's, you know, it's illustrious. It's everything that you need in a dish. So we're going to let this cook down a little bit more. You see it's starting to become nappe. But it's almost there. It's not quite there yet, but almost there. We're going to finish it. Mont au beurre. Add some butter. And that's going to be ready to go. Oh, no, it's not. It's a peppercorn cream sauce. So I want to add some rainbow peppercorns. There's black peppercorns, green peppercorns, and pink peppercorns all mixed up. So I want to add that in. Let that infuse into it. And it's a lot because it's a peppercorn cream sauce. So you want to add a lot of peppercorns. Let that cook through. And it's almost there. You see when you go through, it's taking a long time for that to come back together. That's almost where we want it. It's right there where we want it. You see how when you separate it, it's not really coming back together quickly. And when you put it on the back of the spatula, when you run your finger through it, that sauce does not come back together. That's exactly where we want it. So we just want to add a little butter, finish it with a little butter. You can cut the heat off and just finish it with a little butter. And then we're just going to taste it for salt and pepper. And then this will be ready to plate up. You taste it real quick while that butter's melting. That's good. A little bit of salt. And a little bit more black pepper. And we're all set. Now you're ready to plate up. Maybe 15 minutes max. And you're ready to serve dinner to your loved one. So it's time to plate up. I'm going to have my last sip of wine. And before this goes, and we're going to get this plate up. So you're going to plate it with your favorite vegetable. I got some asparagus wrapped in pancetta with some seasoning and some blistered tomatoes on the vine because it's red for Valentine's Day. And we're going to take a steak with that stuffed crab. We're going to lay it right across the side. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just take some of that sauce, right? Some of that sauce we made. We're going to just take a little ladle or spoon and just drizzle it right across. Oh man, super decadent, super luxurious, and nothing says love like surf and turf with a little bit of cream, some alcohol. We're gonna finish it with a little parsley because that's just what you do. Makes it look good, nice and good, not clumped like I got it right here, but make it look nice and good. And you all set. I'm gonna clean the side of this plate and it'll be ready to go. My favorite part of the whole thing. I love to cook, but that's because I love to eat. So first thing, I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna go right in on this steak. Cut me a nice piece right there. Make sure I get some of that crab mixture in there. I should cut it a little smaller. Make sure I get some of that crab in there. And go straight for it. You can't lose. You can't lose. Whatever you did wrong last week, it's over. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Happy Valentine's Day. Man, it's a girl. This is Chef English Cooks, and I just saved your Valentine's Day and your relationship. Let that food talk to her.